Friends, good evening. Thank you for joining us to another Gnostic lab of practical application. Tonight, our topic is telepathy. And I would love it if we would all be in a face-to-face sharing environment so that I could ask you, raise your hand. Whom of you would like to see your faculty of telepathy awakened? I'm raising my hand. Samael tells us the hour has arrived to abandon theories and go directly to what is practical. And this practice of telepathy is simply phenomenal. But let me tell you this. What if I told you that we are more or less telepathic, the same way that we are more or less clairvoyant? We have already learned that clairvoyance is objective imagination. It is the ability to see with that eye of intuition. It is the ability to see with that eye of inspiration. It is the ability to perceive beyond what the eyes of the flesh can actually detect. And when it comes to telepathy, well, telepathy is not just you sitting here and the other person sitting somewhere else, and you having a conversation similar to the one that we are having right now. Telepathy manifests itself in very interesting ways. And a good example of this is when you suddenly receive this text message and you realize, oh my God, I was just thinking about you and I got this message. Right there, happening under the detection capability of the intellect, there has been a communication. There has been a connection between your values and the values of that other person. And suddenly, you are seeing someone that you were thinking of. You're walking down the sidewalk or you're at the mall, at the supermarket. And then you can see someone and say, wow, I have been just thinking about you these last couple of days. And it would appear to be a coincidence. But let me tell you this, it is not. Because what man refers to as chance, these random events, well, those are just words that we men in general use to try to explain something that is taking place because of a law that we have not yet understood. How about in those instances where you are with someone that you feel close to? It could be your spouse, it could be your boyfriend, your girlfriend. And as you are having conversations, they say something and you immediately think, wow, I was just going to say that. This is a reflection on the faculty of telepathy. And what about when someone is trying to share an idea, and as they're sharing the idea, you can start seeing it clearly. And you understand exactly what the person is saying, but not only that. You also know where they're going with that conversation. And you say, we are so in sync. Well, yes, that is telepathy, and it is very active. But for telepathy to work, for it to work in its most effective way, this is not just a matter of us chanting mantras and just asking for this faculty to be awakened. There has to be a little bit more that we must do. And we must take our creative energies and safeguard them. We need to protect them. Because the more we safeguard our creative energies, the more active becomes our pineal gland in the head. And when the pineal gland is active, when the pineal gland is very healthy, when you have stored this creative energy, your thoughts create a good impression in the environment. And when your thoughts are emitted with intensity, then other people can receive those thoughts and they can see what you see with the eye of the mind. If we are abusing of our creative energies, if we're abusing, for example, of our sexuality, or we are using our creative energies just to gossip or waste it in other ignorant ways, then the power of those thoughts becomes diminished. And you will try to explain things and you will find yourself saying, I don't know how to explain it so that you can see it. So yes, there is a little bit of homework that we have to do outside of the practice today. It requires a little bit of discipline. But notice that thoughts are emitted from the head through your pineal gland. The pineal gland has a transducing capacity. It can receive images, but it can also emit. But when we receive, we don't receive those waves in the head. We receive those impressions in the solar plexus. And the solar plexus is about 3 fingers over your navel. It is there where we find the location of a magnetic center, a chakra. And this chakra is known as the chakra Manipura. This chakra attracts and accumulates radiant energy from the sun. And it accumulates that energy during the day and at night. When you allow the body to fall asleep, when you unfold consciously or unconsciously in your astral body, well, the vital body itself will then be responsible of distributing this energy throughout the other glands and systems of the human body. And this energy is vital because it helps the vital body regenerate, recuperate the physical body after we wear it during the day. This from our lecture in the chakras, for those of you who have not seen this before. The chakra Manipura is in our solar plexus. And for those of you who have heard about the 7 churches of Asia from the book of Revelations, this is the 3rd church. Those churches of Asia that are mentioned in the book of Revelation, well, they are the 7 churches of the realm of substance. These are the 7 churches of the earth, of the philosophers. And those 7 churches are the same 7 major chakras that exist in our physical body. The name of this church is the Church of Pergamum. And it is located within the abdomen, but in the back, in the lumbar region. It is right there opposite to the navel. And different to what many people believe, that we have grown accustomed to think that the colors of the chakras are the 7 colors of the rainbow. Well, that is not just like that. This particular chakra is of a gray color, but it is a gray color that is equivalent to that of the clouds when they are loaded with rain, when they are just ready to just discharge and just dump all of that water. The virtue that is associated with this chakra is the virtue of abstinence. Of course, that should not be a surprise to anyone. After all, the chakra, we find it in the lumbar region right there in the abdomen. We can find the 3 fingers above the navel. So yeah, it makes sense that it's associated with the digestive processes. But when we focus on eliminating our gluttony, we slowly start awakening the faculty of abstinence. Just for the sake of conversation, let's understand that there is a continuum. And in this continuum, there are 2 extremes. On one, we have gluttony, and gluttony is a voracious appetite. And on the other extreme, we have abstinence. So on one side, we have a gross defect. And on the other one, we have a beautiful faculty. Allow us to tell you that in this continuum, well, we have been governed since the beginning of creation by a principle called the principle of polarity. And in this continuum, gluttony and abstinence, some people would say they are the same thing because they are in the same continuum and they must be reconciled. And when they say this, they are not wrong. But we would like to expand on that so that there is no confusion. Because anyone who has seen a glutton, or if you have seen yourself being a glutton, you know very well that that is dramatically different than being abstinent. We know that. So, what do they mean with this idea that they are the same? Well, let's speak in terms of nature. Because they are in the same continuum, abstinence and gluttony are of the same nature. However, they are different in degree. One is gross, and we can imagine that it would vibrate at a very low vibration. So if you were to imagine the keyboard in a piano, it would be those notes that are on the very low octaves. The sound is very rough. But because they are of different degrees, as we transition up the scales into the virtue of abstinence, then those are the notes that are on the higher octaves. So between one and the other, it is very difficult to tell where one ends and the other one starts. Very difficult. So yes, they are the same, but they are the same in nature. They are very different in their degree. So as we work on eliminating gluttony, because there is no vacuum in nature, we come to fill that space with its opposite, with the virtue of abstinence. And the more we work on eliminating our gluttony, the more measured we are, which means that we slowly become experts in comprehending this thing called sensation and this other thing called satisfaction. Well, we start seeing that the faculties that are associated with this chakra, well, they start certainly awakening. And telepathy is one of the faculties that come with the awakening of the chakra. Similar to all the other chakras, this one also rotates. There's many information out there that is just plain incorrect. Some people believe that the chakras are like gears in an engine, and that when one spins in this direction, the one next to it spins in the other one, and as they spin, they nourish each other. So you are pretty much like a complex system of energetic gears. This is not true. These chakras rotate clockwise. But let's understand clockwise, because it is not clockwise as when you are standing next to a clock on the wall. You see, it is not that the chakra is spinning like this on the wall and it is spinning like that in you as well. It is clockwise as when you stand before a clock on the wall and your chakras are spinning in the same direction as the hands of the clock are moving. So they rotate from left to right, so that you never forget. Imagine that you start on your left shoulder, and from your left shoulder up to the top of your head, and then down to your right shoulder, down towards your navel, and up to your left shoulder again. This is the rotation of the chakras, of the 7 chakras. And tonight, as we are going to focus in the chakra Manipura, I want you to combine 2 things. Your objective imagination, meaning your ability to see with the creative mind, your faculty of clairvoyance. Combine that with your willpower and make an effort without straining yourself to see the chakra rotating clockwise. How is it? As we are seeing it on the screen. Starting on your right shoulder, up towards the head, down the right shoulder towards the navel, and then back up. Visualize the chakra rotating, because once we see it rotating, what we would like to do is to then sing or pronounce a word of power, which is a mantra. Mantra means word of power. And the mantra that we will use tonight is the mantra U. The letter U, as one of the 7 vowels of nature, well, this one resonates at the level of the chakra Manipura. We have the letter I that sounds E for the head, the letter E that sounds E for the creative larynx, the magical ear, the letter O for the heart center, the letter U for the solar plexus, the letter A for the chakras of the lungs and the thymus gland, that is also in the heart. And then we have two other vowels, the letter M, that allows for the vibration of the creative organs, particularly the chakra svadhisthana, that is the chakra right there in your creative organs, the one that energizes and electrifies your creative waters. And then the letter S, which is the sound of the fire of Kundalini. So tonight we're going to use the mantra U. To add a little variation, we're going to use the U and the letter N, because the letter N creates the effect, the same effect that happens when you strike a bell. It just elongates that sound. And in this practice, as we start by seeing the chakra spinning clockwise, I'm going to invite you to expand your ability to see. And as we are sitting comfortably, if at all possible, facing towards the east, I want you to, once you see your chakra spinning, for you to visualize that from the distant sun, there is a golden cross that is radiating light. These are rays of blue and golden light that are penetrating into your solar plexus. And as you are seeing that, with that chakra spinning, as you see the light that emanates from this divine cross into your solar plexus, I want you to sing the mantra Un. We're going to do this ideally, for an hour. Tonight, we're going to be chanting this mantra for as long as we can during our practice today. And the more you practice, the better it will be. The more harmony you bring into the vibration of all of those energetic centers that exist within your solar plexus. And the more harmony there is, the better the results will be. But we tell you this, we get out of these exercises exactly what we bring into them. If you come and you try to do this with doubt, with skepticism, this is exactly what we're going to get out. So I invite you to open yourself to what is new. Open yourself to the principle of spontaneity so that when you see things with your faculty of clairvoyance, that you are very clear that this is part of an experience and that you can start building that faith of clarity. Because that faith of clarity paves the way to marvelous things happening in our life. So in our practice today, again, we're going to do an objective visualization. If at all possible, sit comfortably on your chair with your feet flat on the floor, your hands resting comfortably on your thighs, and face towards the east. Towards the east, because that is where the sun rises. Imagine radiations in your solar plexus. See your solar plexus shining with the intensity of 1,000 suns. And see it like a lotus flower of 10 petals that is rotating clockwise. Imagine that the light that is emerging is blue and that it is gold. And then see that light from the distant sun radiating, and those two lights combining and filling you up, enriching you, bringing harmony, bringing peace. We're going to do this without getting tired, and we're going to be singing, reciting the mantra Un. So let's go ahead and start by eliminating as many sensations as we can. So we're going to start by closing our eyes. Let's go ahead and start by making ourselves aware of the sensations in the physical body. Maybe at this time of the day, we have been standing for too long in the day and maybe our feet are a little swollen. So maybe the shoes feel uncomfortable. Maybe it's the belt, your watch, maybe earrings, a ponytail, a hat. Whatever it may be, Give yourself an opportunity and relieve that distraction. Now that we have done that, let's make ourselves aware of our emotional state. All of our emotions are preceded by thoughts. Sometimes we feel certain ways, and the thoughts that have been taking place in the mind are even happening below the detection capability of the intellect. These are all conversations, arguments, opposites that exist within the subconsciousness. And knowing what our emotional state is very favorable, because if we had not been perceiving those thoughts before, understanding how we feel would give us a good indication of what those thoughts could be. And then we become more able to perceive the thoughts themselves. But the good thing is that we also know that our emotions come and go like the flow of a pendulum. Just like the pendulum swings from one side to the other, we know that if we're happy today, well, later on we're going to experience a sadness that is proportional to the happiness that we experience today. And if today we are sad, we know that more sooner than later, that sadness will fade away and that we're going to be experiencing some joy and happiness. And knowing this is important because this makes it very real and tangible that all these emotions are just temporal and they come and go. And if they come and go, then why hold on to them? When we are better off just standing at the center of that circle of Tao, where we can observe the pendulum swinging from one side to another. And when we do that, we are so empowered, because then we don't have to react. Because then when it's time to laugh, we can enjoy the moment without falling into the laughter of Aristophanes. Because if the situation is sad, well, it is okay that we experience the sadness. But then we become empowered to not allow ourselves to fall into those deeper states of sadness and desolation. The circle of Tao empowers us, and it gives the good practitioner the opportunity to exercise some very efficient mental alchemy, where we can transform those thoughts, can transform those emotions. And eventually, the practitioner reaches a mastery where they become untouchable. And people see them and wonder, how come they don't react? This is why we need to see the importance of all of these emotions being temporal. So knowing what our emotion is, we see it with gratitude. And we express gratefulness for it. And with that, we start focusing our attention in our breath. Let's take a deep breath in 1, 2. Feet on the floor. Hands on your thighs. 1, 2. Vertical spine. Our head resting comfortably on our shoulders. 1, 2. And we allow with every exhalation the opportunity to see our body sinking just a little deeper onto that chair. 1, 2. Let's bring the attention of our consciousness onto our toes. And as we do that, we allow our consciousness to focus on our toes, our heels, our ankles. We allow that attention of our consciousness to rise slowly up our shins, our calves, all the way up to our knees. And notice just how without any effort, we immediately feel that gentle softness that comes with a deep state of relaxation. We experience it, and we are grateful for it. And without identifying, we bring once again the attention of our consciousness to our knees. We allow it to expand along the underside of our thighs. Into our glutes, our hips, and our creative organs. And just like that, our legs, they feel that gentle vibration that comes from a deep state of relaxation. And you can particularly perceive that on the inner side of your thighs, right there where we have our femoral arteries. These arteries are massive channels through which blood flows throughout our body. And they are influenced by the constellation of Sagittarius. Those vibrations of Sagittarius allow for the energization, the magnetization of our blood. And that is so useful, because there are many principles that exist within our blood. We focus then our attention, that attention of the consciousness, into our lower back. Right there at the very bottom tip of our spine. And we allow that attention to rise slowly, one vertebra at a time. And as we breathe in and exhale, we start feeling that relaxation growing and expanding from our lower back into our lower abdomen. We feel the relaxation of our intestines, of our liver, foundation of our astral body, our pancreas, our spleen, which is the foundation of our vital body. We feel that relaxation reaching our diaphragm, our stomach. And we notice how the exhalation starts becoming deeper, but effortless. We relax our lungs, our heart. We allow our body to simply relax every tissue. And as we exhale, we feel that attention of the consciousness reaching that space in between our shoulder blades. as we take a deep breath in 1, 2, we release any tension, any preoccupations, any considerations that are obstacles to our work. And that relaxation continues up the spine until it reaches our shoulders. And from there it cascades onto our elbows, our wrists, our hands, and even flows out our fingers. Make yourself aware of the gentle sensation of relaxation that is inundating your physical body. And be certain that you can invoke this very same state of relaxation at any moment, today or during the upcoming days. This is what our normal state is meant to be. Whether we are happy and celebrating, or whether we're going through a crucial moment or a difficult one. Knowing this, we once again focus the attention of our consciousness, the base of our skull, at that space behind the head and between the ears. And you can even perceive physically the attention of the consciousness. So we experience it without identifying, and we take another deep breath in 1, 2. And we allow that attention of the consciousness to continue expanding along the sides of our head. And we relax the muscles of our jaw, our tongue, our lips, our eyes and our eyelids. We relax the muscles of our forehead. And without any effort, we can perceive that relaxation continues to expand until it finds itself at the very crown of our head. Use your objective imagination to see that there is a ray of light that emanates from your head and expands upwards into the infinite heavens. But also that there is a gentle blue light that descends from the heavens into your head and that gently flows into your lungs. And feel how the relaxation is perfect. We recite a mantra to create a circle of protection around us. And we say, Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopihana Vaya Vaya Swaha. We say it again for good practice. Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopihana Vaya Vaya Swaha. We say it again for good practice. Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopihana Vaya Vaya Swaha. Open yourself to that which is new. Embrace the principle of spontaneity. And allow yourself to use your faculty of objective imagination and look up. And it is likely that you will see a shining 5-pointed star that radiates upon you, that is product of the chanting of this mantra. This mantra always brings us good protection. And we invoke our innermost by saying, Divine Father, Father of mine, you who are my true being, you who are my eternal God, we're here humbly at your presence, asking of you and begging of you to awaken in us the faculty of imagination, to awaken the faculties of inspiration and intuition, and also to enable us to awaken the faculty of telepathy. Give us, Father, the ability to see what the eyes of the flesh cannot see, so that we may perceive the thing itself and not be distracted with appearances. Give us the ability to perceive the significance and the reason of things without having to rely on the constant comparisons of the intellect. Give us the ability to perceive the spiritual reality of things without having to rely on the logical processes of the mind. But also give us that ability to perceive thoughts. Allow us the ability to receive, decipher, comprehend consciously those thoughts that we choose to, those thoughts of others. And to always do so in a way that is responsible, that is conscious. We ask of this in your holy name, so be it. And at this moment, we use our objective imagination and our willpower to see the chakra of our solar plexus rotating clockwise. We know that this chakra is gray, and we know that it can radiate with the radiance of 1,000 suns. And as we see this, use your objective imagination and your willpower to see those golden and blue rays of light that emanate from a divine cross in the sun. Rays of light that travel through the infinite cosmos and reach your solar plexus and penetrate into it and illuminate and enrich and bring harmony. Divine Father, we give you infinite thanks for the ability to see and perceive. And so we sing the mantra Un. Sustain your visualization. We close all of the doors that exist in our abdomen except the door through which this radiant light from the sun penetrates into our body. Maintain your visualization. Divine Father, we give you infinite thanks for this new opportunity. We give you infinite thanks for the practice, for the ability to see and the ability to perceive. Awaken in us the love for the work itself. And we ask of this in your holy name, that all this materializes and crystallizes according to your will, the great law, and the universal charity. So be it. So be it. So be it. We take a deep breath in 1, 2. And we slowly wiggle our toes and our fingers. And with that, we complete our practice for tonight. So dear friends, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to participate of this with you at home. And to all of you for coming together like a great family as we do these practices. To everyone, have a good night, and may all beings be happy. Have a great weekend.